I'll second it.
Great. Okay, at 4:51 PM on Friday, April 19th, 2024, I'll call to order the special meeting of the Conservation Commission. We have 4 members present tonight. Andy Fulton, the chair. To my left, we have Mike Camacho, the secretary, and we've got Ray to the far left, and Zuzu to my right, and David, our liaison from the Board of Selectmen's here also. So with 4 members out of 7, we have a quorum. And we will proceed to business. First item and the instigating item for this meeting, I'll hand it over to Mike Camacho to talk about what he found in looking into the Barden property asbestos abatement reporting and the extent of the assessment that was actually undertaken.
Yep, so I spoke with Jeremy of Four Brothers, and they had not sampled the barn structure, and the reason being that he gave was a lot of time had passed between correspondence, and it kind of just got lost on him that there was that second structure to sample. But they did head out there. They agreed to mobilize, on their dime, so they won't be billing us for the sampling of the barn structure. And they got out there Tuesday. They had the samples analyzed, and everything came up negative for the barn structure. So it's all completed here.
That's good news.
That's
Yeah,
very
that's
good
great.
news. I was not expecting it to go that well.
Yeah.
So they will be sending us a bill for the samples, which they would have done anyway if they had sampled it as we had thought they were going to. So it's $25 a sample. So we'll be getting a bill for that.
And will we get a follow-up letter to
I asked him to
document?
amend the report
Okay.
to add some language that includes the second structure. I think they got the analysis back on Thursday, so just give them a little bit to get that report amended.
That's excellent. What do you folks think we ought to do on the bid opening? I guess there's one outfit that raised the question.
Yep. Yeah, so everyone bid as if there was no asbestos-containing material in that second structure. And I thought I would read the email correspondence that we had with the company that alerted us that they didn't see any language in the report for that second structure.
Sure.
Nobody else pointed it out, just that one
Right,
company.
right.
And then we can decide. I read over it earlier, and it sounds like they were gonna bid as if there was no asbestos-containing material in that structure, but we'll see what we all think.
Sure.
All right, so the email states, "Good afternoon. After review of the documents, it appears that asbestos sampling was only performed on the house and not the partially collapsed barn structure. To be able to demolish the barn building and haul off the waste, an asbestos survey needs to be completed on the structure as well. Please advise." And I stated back, "Thank you. This is something we will have to discuss during Wednesday night's meeting." And then the response was, "Michael, for the bid, I will be excluding any asbestos from the barn as it is not identified. A NESHAP identifying the tested materials from the barn would need to be supplied prior to the demolition of the structure. Are you in agreement with my conclusion? If not, please advise as to how the bid should be presented. And then, there's two more here. My response, I'm just one member of the commission, but I agree that more information needs to be supplied prior to the demolition of the structure. And the final correspondence was, thanks for the response. Since the bids are due tomorrow, I think it is the only fair way to bid the project. The barn is partially collapsed, so the waste stream could be affected.
So basically, his bid reflects that he wasn't gonna take care of asbestos, and now that there isn't any, he should be okay with his bid,
That's how I interpret it, but that's something we can all
the way I read it.
discuss.
Yes, that sounds like to me.
Yeah. Which is reasonable, it's kinda how I would've proceeded with it. I don't wanna get caught having to pay for asbestos removal when I didn't bid it. So-
Yeah.
So as far as the bid openings, do we wanna have another, work session, or do we wanna wait until the next meeting, which is what, 3 weeks away?
Right.
That's kinda far,
What's
but it's.
the holdup, or what's the harm, I guess,
Yeah,
and
it's been, what, a year, 2 years? It wouldn't be any
Right.
time.
I think I'd be most comfortable with just taking it up our next regular meeting without there being any urgency. I think this one was important so that we weren't just tripping down the road, with the, delay of a full month to find out something. Thank you, Mike, for doing that
And now,
project and
would-
following up.
Would we want to send the amended report to the folks that bid?
Mm,
Do you wanna
once we
alert-
have it, we'll want to post it and we can alert them,
Yeah,
but,
we can
Sure,
alert
right,
Um,
yes, yeah.
but that's just that's a courtesy.
Yes, yep,
I don't think that is anything that we, need to make sure that they're aware of, because it's,
I think it would be a courtesy and good faith, because they're all waiting now to
Right.
know what's gonna happen. So if we told them, hey, the thing came with no asbestos, the report's being amended, then they would say, great, now we're comfortable with our bids, and there won't be any surprises.
I guess then the question is, are we confident that Four Brothers will
Well,
get
that-
back to us within, with enough time so that maybe there's a week before
Yeah.
our meeting and we can let the bidders know, we plan to open your bids, and oh, by the way, this is why we were delayed a month.
I can reach out, but they've been pretty responsive. It sounded like they were gonna get it done
Yeah,
fairly quickly here. It's just a couple sentences added
Right.
to an already
Yeah.
written report. And, well, I guess they'd add another table, perhaps, for the other structure, but.
right, and attach the reports, or the lab, the lab reports to it. I think that timeline should work just fine then.
And I think it's, for the folks that did bid, just having them, they get the opportunity, not that I would suspect anything to be off, but they have the opportunity to come back saying, I bid it this way, if they messed up anything with how they bid. I don't think it would. but
Well,
it gives that
and that's the point.
opportunity.
I'd like to be able to give them a week, say, if you have any heartburn over this, get to us before we open bids, otherwise we're opening bids and we're gonna do the best we can going forward.
Yep,
But if there's a party or several parties, or all the parties that wanna rethink it, then, a very short window to let us know.
yep,
In which case, I think we're better off saying, all right, break again. Basically, you get this back and get another shot. But hopefully, that's not where we are, and I tend to think that's not just being optimistic, but the realistic thing is that
Yeah.
they're,
Yeah, I think they'll just hold their numbers now.
yep.
Nothing's really changed in their eyes at this point.
The amount of asbestos
Now they can
has
be
changed,
more
stayed the same.
sure what they've bid
Yeah.
is the correct.
yeah,
They won't get caught
Yeah.
doing something that, extra.
so, plan to open bids at our regular May meeting.
You say you're just gonna give notice, right? You're not gonna wait for the report and send it to them?
No, we've got about a 2-week window there to get the report And then along with the notice will be, we have the amended report. You can view it at the same spot you viewed the initial report. And we'll get the word out that way. I don't think we need
I just
to,
didn't want that to run into your next meeting and
right,
they don't get a chance to see the report.
yeah. So hopefully we've got that window of a week or so there, maybe 2 weeks, that'd be even better, but
Basically, as soon as the amended report comes back, we can post it and let them know.
right, we don't typically have a report approval process. A report is a report. Share it with, the public via our website, direct the bidders to it so that they're aware of it, at least have the opportunity to take a look at it. And get that all squared away before May 8th meeting. Any other thoughts on that? Sounds like a course of action going forward on that one. And thanks again, Mike, for taking lead on that and running it to ground. Even moving on to the second item for, in this space, even a more rare item, we have a special request following up from last meeting with some more information for a resident to be able to access Farron Pond for a special photo, private photo opportunity, and needing to get somebody who's a photographer, not of great physical, ready for great physical exertion, so get a lift up to the pond to take some pictures for somebody's engagement. So we have received in the last, what's it been, week and a half or so, information that the actual access road or Woods Road up to the south end of Farron Pond is actually in decent condition. There's just a little light tree work to do up near the pond. And we have some folks who are motivated and able to do that. Just need our approval for access. And if we do approve it, I would make sure that we are able, or they're able to open the gate and close the gate behind them, and we get it squared away. It's actually a fairly new gate that we had put in the last time we did logging work around the east side of Farron Pond, even though we weren't pulling anything out of the woods via Mountain Road. We did have a situation where the existing access to that Woods Road was inadequate. So while we were doing the harvest work, the contractor put in a rugged gate, made it swing accessible rather than having to have equipment to move boulders out. And our hope with that was maybe Fish and Game would return to stock the pond if they wanted to. That had been a request, probably 10 years ago now, as the road had fallen into pretty rough condition. And apparently it's, I'm not sure when it was done, but apparently it's actually in pretty decent condition now, which is good. Means the erosion control was done right, and there've been whatever blowdowns and drag downs with ice storms have been taken care of. And those sort of, getting a little long-winded here, but those sort of roads are pretty helpful to us, emergency services. So having them in traversable conditions, a good thing. We just want to make sure we control the gates, don't invite unauthorized usage and abuse.
Sounded like they wanted to get up there tomorrow? Okay,
Yep. Yeah, one day.
yeah.
So unlocked in the morning and locked up at night.
It looked like the last email was a question about whether it's a code padlock.
Yes, we did verify that.
Okay, so we just need to get them the code. then.
I'll actually take care of it myself
Yeah.
on this case, so.
Okay.
I'll get it, if it's the will of the commission, I will get it unlocked and get it relocked.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't let them do that.
Sounds
So would
good.
anybody like to forward a motion to authorize, I'm not remembering Jennifer's last name now. Does anybody remember from the correspondence? And I don't have,
Can't pull them up on
don't
my-
have cell phone access to that email.
CHACOS?
Chacos?
Chacos, yep, thank you. So that would be for the Jennifer Chacos party. Party mean group of people, not a.
They might have a party. Little cake, candle.
In the, well, it's not very lovely now, but like the Donner Party, which was not a party, it was a group of people doing something.
That was really a
Maybe
party.
not the best.
That was chaos.
Right. So do we have a motion on that one?
I'll make a motion to allow Jennifer Jacos's party, for engagement photos to access Farron Pond tomorrow. And the gate will be locked, or unlocked by Andy and then locked at the end of the day by Andy. And with that access, there will be some sort of ATV use on the road.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that one? Thoughts? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That's all in favor. Clear enough on the language on that one?
Got most of it,
So that's, motion to allow the Jennifer Chacos party access,
Engagement photos to access Farron Pond tomorrow to be unlocked by Andy and relocked by Andy with some ATV access for the event.
thank you. That'll do it. All right, so terrific. That's neat to see people enjoying the town conservation land and respectfully requesting, and appropriately requesting access when it requires a special accommodation. Thank you, everybody on that. And now for the main event. We're gonna take our maps, we're gonna head over to a subdivision just above Duck Pond, up to Ski Tow Road, and just primarily take a look at the area where Ski Town Road is being extended or will be anticipated being extended through a drainage area, we'll call it a swale. And beyond that, we want to look at a bigger picture, and I think, well, we've got a locus map showing the full subdivision, so if we're feeling energetic, we might walk some of that boundary towards the area that's already been built, which is on the east side of that subdivision. But the first thing is really get a handle on what the layout looks like at this area where a originally permitted through planning board span, I believe it's been approved for a culverted crossing approach. And see what we find up there. Just get familiar with something that's a growing subdivision for there, in the town. And I think we have enough, enough assets with these two plats. We got a couple sheet size that we can look at. And as much as we'd like to be answering questions out there, I think we're probably just getting ourselves informed to see if we might have further questions for the folks who are doing that work, or maybe we don't. But at least we'll be a little bit informed with what the situation is on the ground.
Can I see the big plan?
Yeah.
For a second, I can't read the little.
Which one, looking for the grade and,
That one. I can see these.
and I don't anticipate making any decisions up there, so I
Just
think,
tell me what time you adjourn from up there and I can ask.
yeah, and I think that,
I just wrote the CC exited televised meeting at whatever time you do that to go to Duck Pond subdivision for site walk. Just tell me when you adjourn the site walk and I'll just add it to the bottom.
right. Yep.
Because you'll be off camera, but you're still.
Yeah, I guess the only change is if, when we're up there, we get led in a different direction than what we anticipated here.
Just send me something.
So I would send you something, email on that to record what we're up to, but,
This is just basically a big fill. So you got the embankment coming down on this side here, and the one comes, see that little, thing, see that's the original grade? And now they're gonna change it, they're just gonna, they're gonna cut here, and they're gonna fill here, or is it cut? No, it's a fill, the whole thing's a fill.
Yeah, 700.
So-
680, 680.
one of the things that I'm a little bit concerned about, is, you know, something can be pretty effective for water passage that might not be very effective for wildlife passage. And so one of the things I thought about years ago on this one, as we look at the design here, having a 5-foot wide, 5-foot tall, maybe 4-foot tall, if they need to run riprap through it, passage might allow wildlife to pass where most creatures don't like crawling through culverts.
You know?
And
You'd
I've
wanna
seen
use-
some
you'd wanna
culverted
specify
situations
what-
where I almost ran into an otter who was going over instead of staying in the water at one spot, and I slammed the brakes, and this otter made it, you know, couldn't have been by inches. And you think otters are pretty good in the water, but it just didn't want to swim through a pipe. And I've also, that same spot, encountered a dead beaver, again, aquatic creature. This is not a river, so it's a different situation, but still, that was one of my thoughts, and it might be, you know,
It doesn't.
might be water under the bridge at this point, but at least we can look at it and see whether that's, whether any thoughts in that direction are inspired when we're up there.
This plan doesn't reflect what this pipe is. No size,
That's on the second one.
is it?
Yeah, that's on sheet number 2. We got a,
It's a 5-foot wide
1 foot thick.
box culvert.
Okay,
But
it's a big box culvert.
this is the original plan, and there's something else that they're wanting to do?
I believe there's been approved to go a different direction,
With
but
just like a metal,
That came from the wetlands application for the new plan.
oh,
That map was in the wetlands.
all right, checking the date.
This is
I did not
dated-
look at the
this is dated
dates, but
December
December,
2023.
so,
It was approved in '05, the original subdivision.
Oh, okay, so maybe this is what,
so your feeling is this is what is proposed at, on the
That's what I
table at
took
this
out
point?
of- Yeah, I took out of Meridian's binder that they sent us and took and made copies for you. Those two maps is what was in their new request to DES.
Okay,
What was in the old one was in '05, and I didn't copy that one because that was approved in '05.
do we have access to that, or is it kind of buried at this point?
I'm not sure where to start, but it's somewhere, I mean, it's almost 20 years old.
Right, I mean,
But that, I just wanted you, that's what they proposed for the new.
okay,
This is-
that's important. I'm glad we
Was
Well, at least
stumbled
if
along a
that's-
little,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
At least if that's the case, they have a 5-foot wide flat surface
Yeah.
instead of a culvert.
Right.
Which is not bad.
Oh, that's a-
Stream simulation.
I can get
bottom.
you copies, sorry. I can get you copies for your May meeting of the original if you want.
That would be helpful, I
And
think,
you
just to
guys can
compare
know
them and,
What you're seeing now.
yeah.
What's gonna go there, and I'll have them find the '05.
But it's, yeah, it's especially important to know that this is what's on the table.
So it says.
Right now,
stream
so great.
Simulation, but see, they've got it, yeah, they
This
got it
is-
already a stream simulation.
Yeah.
So they're proposing to do what we would want.
Mm-hmm. Seems like it.
Right, I know, I guess, well, this looks like design looks like it's a closed bottom, but the idea would be
Yeah, then you add a foot of.
extend natural
regular
surface
stone.
through it as it's being Legoed together, I think.
Yeah.
To have a natural surface as,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
12 inches of native stream material.
that'd be it. Be
That's a good thing.
good to see if anything's flowing. It's a former gravel or sand pit, so I thought it's probably under most circumstances, there's a lot of infiltration, but maybe under some conditions, it's actually flowing on the surface. So had a pretty wet spell, so let's see what we find up there.
Can you continue your site walk at 517?
Yes. Yeah, we'll leave the meeting room and head up there, 5:17.